A very good morning to all of you. I am Ria from Edupedia and we will talk today about demand. What is the meaning of demand, the types of demand, and determinants of demand or the factors affecting demand. Let's first understand the meaning of demand. What is demand? Well, demand for a commodity refers to the quantities of a commodity which consumers are willing and able to purchase at various possible prices during a particular period of time. Demand is an effective desire, that is, desire accompanied by the willingness and power to purchase. For instance, I may have the desire for a car, but it will become demand only when I have the adequate money and I'm willing to spend that money to purchase that car. Second, demand in economics is always at a price. That is, different quantities of a commodity will be demanded at different prices. Then, demand is also always expressed with a reference to particular time period. Hence, demand is a flow concept. That is, flow is any variable which is expressed per unit of time. We must always express demand as so much per period of time. For example, 200 cars per day or 1400 cars per week or 73,000 cars per year. Thus, demand does not refer to a single isolated purchase, but to a continuous flow of purchases. Second, what are the types of demand? There are many types of demand. The first one, the individual demand and the market demand. Let's understand the difference between both. Individual demand refers to the quantities of a commodity that an individual consumer is willing to purchase at various prices during a given period of time. Whereas market demand refers to the total quantities of a commodity that all the households are willing to buy at various prices during a given period of time. The second type of demand is ex ante and ex post demand. Ex ante demand refers to the amount of goods that consumers want to or are willing to buy during a particular period of time. It is planned or desired amount of demand. Whereas ex post demand refers to the amount of goods that the consumers actually purchase during a specific period. Another type of demand is joint demand, which refers to the demand for two or more goods which are used jointly or demanded together. For example, cars and petrol, butter and bread, milk and sugar, etc. are the goods which are used together. Then there is another demand which is called derived demand, which refers to demand for a commodity that arises because of the demand for some other commodity. For instance, demand for steel, bricks, cement, stones, woods, etc. is a derived demand, derived from the demand for houses and other buildings. And then we have composite demand, which refers to demand for goods that have multiple uses. For example, the demand for steel arises from various uses of steel, such as use of steel in making utensils, bus bodies, room coolers, cars, and so on. So these are different types of demand. Now let's understand what are the factors affecting demand or what are the determinants of demand. The factors that influence the decision of households to purchase a commodity are known as determinants of demand. Now there are many determinants of demand as we discuss further. Coming to the first one, price of a commodity. The most important determinant of demand for a commodity is price of the commodity itself. So it is an obvious one. That means if price goes up, demand will go down. And if price goes down, demand will go up. Another determinant of demand is income of the consumer. Well, income of the consumer, it determines the purchasing power of the consumer. So if income goes up, demand will go up. If income goes down, demand will go down. Now, while discussing the relationship between income of the consumer and demand for a commodity, we may distinguish between three types of commodities, which are normal goods, inferior goods, and inexpensive goods of necessities. Normal goods. Now, these goods are the goods wherein the demand for which increases with increase in income of consumers and decreases with fall of income. For instance, a consumer may increase his demand for clothes, refrigerators, TVs, and cars as his income increases. Inferior goods are those goods the demand for which falls with increase in income of the consumer. For example, the demand for coarse cereals like maize or jowar may decrease when income increases beyond a particular level because the consumers may substitute it by a superior cereals like wheat or rice. And then we come to inexpensive goods of necessities. Wherein the demand remains same irrespective of level of income. In case of inexpensive necessities of life such as salt and matchbox, the quantity purchased increases with increase in income up to a certain level and thereafter it remains constant irrespective of level of income. Another determinant of demand is consumers' taste and preferences. The level of demand is influenced also by the taste and preferences of the consumers. Taste and preferences depend on social customs, habits of people, fashion, the general lifestyle of people, advertisements, new inventions, etc. As a result, the demand of different goods changes. Another determinant of demand is prices of related goods. Related goods can be classified into two categories: substitute goods and complementary goods. Substitute goods are those goods which satisfy the same type of need and hence can be used in place of one another to satisfy a given want. For example, tea and coffee, Coke and Pepsi are examples of substitute goods. Complementary goods. Complementary goods are those goods which are complementary to one another in the sense that they are used jointly or consumed together to satisfy a given want, like car and petrol, gas and gas stoves are example of complementary goods. Another determinant of demand is consumers' expectation. Consumers' expectations about such things as future prices, income availability of goods, etc. play an important role in determining the demand for goods and services in current period. Another determinant is consumers' credit facilities. The demand of goods depends on the credit facilities of the consumer. For instance, the demand for cars in India has increased partly because people are able to get loans from the banks to purchase cars. Another determinant of demand is demonstration effect, which refers to the tendency of a person to emulate the consumption style of other persons like his friends, neighbors, etc. For instance, the demand for luxury cars and expensive mobile sets has increased in recent years, partly because of the desire of the people to follow the consumption style of others. This is the demonstration effect. Another determinant of demand is size and composition of population. The population size of a country determines the number of consumers. The larger the population, the larger is likely to be the number of consumers. And then we have distribution of income as another determinant of demand. Distribution of income in country also affects the demand for goods. If the distribution of income in a country is unequal, there will be more demand for luxury goods like cars and LED TVs. On the other hand, if the income is evenly distributed, there will be less demand for luxury goods and more demand for essential goods, which are also called necessities. Then, climatic factors. The demand for different goods depend on the climatic factors because different goods are needed for different climates. For example, the demand for ice, fans, ACs, cold drinks, cotton clothes, etc. increases in summer. Likewise, in winter, the demand for heaters, blowers, hot drinks, woolen clothes, etc. increases. Another determinant of demand is government policy. The economic policy of the government also influences the demand for commodities. If the government imposes taxes on various commodities in the form of VAT, excise duties, etc., the prices of these commodities will increase. As a result, demand of these commodities will fall. Hence, demand function states the relationship between the demand for a product and its various determinants. In the next few slides, we will again cover the law of demand, the demand schedule, etc. Thank you.